Thanks, Eddie. Let's start off with the Warrington Wolves, and they have the very versatile Stefan Ratchford at fullback as he fills in for Brett Hodgson, who'll miss the next couple of weeks after a minor knee operation. The Warrington three-quarters line. Chris Riley and Joel Monaghan are on the wings. Monaghan, 14 tries in Super League. Only Sam Tompkins has more. Simon Griggs and Ryan Atkins are the centres. Lee Breers makes a return to the starting 13 for the first time since February, alongside Richie Myler in the halfbacks. And then in the pack, no Adrian Morley. He still must wait to make his Warrington return from injury. Chris Hill, Mickey Hyam and Paul Wood are the front row. Trent Waterhouse, Ben Westwood and Mike Cooper completing the Wolves' run on 13. And on the bench, Michael Monaghan, who missed the cup tie with Salford, returns alongside Gareth Carvell, Ben Curry and young Glenn Riley for the coach Tony Smith. Visiting Hull FC, just one change for Peter Gentle from the team that we wait for in the cup. That's in the pack, where Chris Green comes in for Liam Watts. Shannon McDonnell is the fullback. Tom Briscoe and Tom Lynham are on the wings. Kurt Yeaman and Ben Crooks are in the centre. Halfbacks are Daniel Holdsworth and the evergreen Richard Horn. In the pack, Mark O'Mealy, Super League's top tackler Danny Houghton and Chris Green. Gareth Ellis, Jay Pitts and Richard Whiting completing Hull's first choice 13. And on the interchange bench, Andy Lynch, Paul Johnson, Josh Bowden and Aaron Herremeyer. And the Hull FC coach is Peter Gentle.
Thanks, Rod. So a big night this for Hull. But for that wretched start to the season, they might have been in position to right that wrong this year, but they have been the big improvers recently. They could finish in their best place since 2007, when they ended up in 4th place. It'll take a big effort, and the big effort will start here tonight against the Warrington Wolves, who of course are battling with Wigan, Huddersfield and Leeds for a 4th consecutive top 3 finish. They are 3rd right now, and Hull currently sit in 6th place. They've turned this ground though into something of a fortress. They really have, and they've won 5 in a row in League and Cup since they lost 22-28 at Leeds on April the 7th. And Warrington being led out by Lee Breers tonight, and a big night for Lee and his young son Reese. Reese is the mascot, and he is 10 years old tomorrow. Happy birthday, Reese. I wonder if your dad can bring home the bacon for you this evening and for the Warrington Wolves supporters. There he is, Dad, number 6, Lee Breers. Match referee Richard Silverwood, he has battled the traffic to get here as well. Just once again, well done to Hull FC for taking the trouble to book a hotel in Warrington, beat the traffic this morning and make sure that their preparation for this game has been completely unhindered. And in about 9 seconds time, we'll find out whether that preparation was all worthwhile or not. It's a big night for Hull, it's a big night for Warrington, and Stefan Ratchford is about to get us underway. Warrington attacking from left to right as we watch. High and into the corner it goes, and here they come, and it's Mark O'Mealy with the first drive from the kickoff. And I think you could see there that Mark O'Mealy, they really mean business. They know that they've got to get rough and tough out there, and I'm expecting it to be that way over the opening 10-15. We might see a different style. That looked pretty high there from Paul Wood, got away with it. Yes, it was a tackle on Gareth Ellis, who gets up and plays the ball to Houghton, and he flicks the ball inside, but that's good defence from Chris Hill and Mike Cooper. And there's the kicker-in-chief, who was out doing this ad infinitum, it seemed like, for half an hour prior to the warm-up beginning in a serious manner for the Black and Whites. That's Daniel Holdsworth. Good kick. It certainly is, and as we mentioned in the build-up, Eddie, as regards that Holdsworth was out there. I reckon he was out there for 25 minutes doing nothing else but getting the kick. Obviously the coach Peter Gentle is fully aware that they've got to keep turning this Warrington side around. It was a clever action there, absolutely superb. Interesting that Richard Silverwood making sure that everything's a-okay, that you bind rightly. And so from the scrum, Hyam gets the ball away. That's good solid defence though again from Hull on the run from Griggs, and here is Hyam again scampering away. First couple of minutes of the match, Hill will take it forward again for the Warrington Wolves in the England squad, one of 6 Warrington players in the elite training squad for the game here at the Halliwell Jones Stadium, 14th of June against the Exiles.
Well, we anticipated that Hull would get right into the faces, and that is exactly what they're doing. They're pretty rough and tough, and this will be a high kick from the full-back.
Bounces and goes over the dead ball line from Lee Breers. Next try for Breers, 150 for Warrington. He returned from 13 games out last week with a neck injury. He thought his career was over.
Well, you could see that Breers was trying to put the pressure on the full-back, Shannon MacDonald. That was a knock-on. You very rarely see that.
Tom Lynham with the mistake.
Just completely lost control of it. And that often happens at that
stuck
level.
to his hands,
It stuck to his fingers,
Yeah.
that, didn't it?
Well, they have that...
adhesive material that they spray onto the hands.
yeah,
Super glue.
I don't think it's super glue, Phil, but...
Looks like it might have been.
Well, it wasn't super glue there, was it?
So a bit of defending needed again by Hull here, particularly against this run from Ryan Atkins. Solid run from Atkins, brought to ground, but inside the 20 now, and Waterhouse will take it forward. They're inside the 10.
Maybe they switch to the blind. No, they come open side this time.
With Myler, who's going for the line himself. A good job, but Chris Green got a hand on him, brought him down. Here is Hyan. This is Ben Westwood trying to get the ball away, and he's given it away to Shannon MacDonald.
Westwood tried to just offload, went the wrong direction, but that was great defence.
You know, Mike, a feature of Hull's performance last week against Wakefield in the Cup was their defence on their own try line, just as we've seen there, and I think that'll be a penalty. High tackle, Ben Westwood doesn't agree.
Well, he can get excited, can't he? And there's little doubt in everyone's mind that Ben Westwood just didn't get this right. Contact with the head is what Richard Silverwood has said.
Ben Westwood was pleading his innocence.
Well, it's not the first time, and
That's the view that Richard Silverwood had.
Yeah, you got it right, Eddie.
And immediately takes it in again. Tony Smith, the Warrington coach, can they take the ultimate step this year and win their first title for the first time since 1955?
Well, that was a good utilisation, though, by the black and whites and of the dummy runner coming through. It looked as though it was going to be a slip pass, and it went just behind the runner. This is where Houghton's dangerous.
Gets a great ball away to Whiting.
It looked slightly forward.
Houghton again will come inside. It's a decent pass.
And
that
again,
was to Jay Pitts.
And again, Eddie, the utilisation of the dummy runner. They're confusing this Warrington defence.
That was touched by Westwood, knocked down. He'll bring them back for the knock-on.
Yeah.
It'll be head and feet here to Hull.
You must say that Ben Westwood was not in a position to go to the tackle. You can see there that was a deliberate right arm, got the fingertips to it. The officials got it absolutely spot on.
I think they're going to see a lot of each other tonight, Steve-O. We know Daniel Holdsworth is going to be crucial if Hull FC are going to get anything out of the game. But in the first few instances that Ben Westwood had a chance to run with the ball in his hand, he's run out straight at Daniel Holdsworth, defending on the left edge for Hull FC. Daniel Holdsworth's going to have to bring his defensive game tonight, as well as that great attacking game we know he's capable of.
That was a dreadful pass from Richard Horn. I think he knows it as well.
Yeah, disappointment edged on the face there of the experienced Richard Horn. Not the best at all, just a lack of concentration there. A little bit lazy with the pass as well. Maybe he was in two minds, maybe he was going to utilise him as a dummy runner. He didn't. Big let off.
And the mistake, yes, releases the pressure on this Warrington defence. They've lost just once at home this year to St Helens, round 6, March the 8th. They only lost once in 2012 as well, and that too was against St Helens. And they meet those two clubs at the Magic Weekend next Saturday, Saints Warrington, day one of the feature games. Actually, all 7 look very, very enticing, I must say.
Yeah, real tasty, don't miss it. Oh, that's great defence.
That's great offloading, though, from Waterhouse. and he gets it away to Ratchford.
And Eddie, I'm sure that's something that Hull have spoken about in this game. One of the ways that Warrington hurt their opponents this season are the number of late offloads. Here's a penalty for offside. The Hull players not back with the referee when the ball was played, but the late offloads, just when you think the tackle's completed, a Warrington player will pop the ball at the back to one of his teammates, and then they strike again.
Yeah, they had all of them to pick from there.
Yeah, he never even made an attempt. And, you know, it's amazing sometimes that when you're going to set your defence, have a look where the official's standing. There was nobody looking to see where the referee, Silverwood, was standing.
I must say, Lee Breers looks really up for this, and here is Mike Cooper now. He was talking in the press. Lee Breers was on the ball here now about the possibility of having 3 discs frozen at the top of his neck, and unless it was a second opinion that came good, he would have been finished. He is anything but finished here, and he's talking about even coming out of international retirement and playing for Wales in the World Cup. And Breers fires the pass to Myler, who gives it wide and finds Atkins. Red for danger here because it's with Riley. Riley inside, it goes to Wood. And Hall muscling up, and that's tackle number 4. They're 10 metres away from the line. Myler again gets the ball away to Ratchford. He's good on his feet as Ratchford, but down he goes. The ball comes away, and Hull have got it back.
Now that's going to give you a chance to win a game, Eddie. Forget about moving up in the playoffs yet. That sort of defence will give you a chance of beating Warrington Wolves. Warrington shifted the ball out wide. They were able to close down Ryan Atkins, and when Warrington came back to the short side, the Hull FC were able to pounce on a mistake. That eager defence that they showed last week in the Cup, Phil's referred to it already, they brought it tonight, and that's a good sign.
Yes, signs are good for Hull. This is Richard Horne. Must be feeling the pressure of the young Australian who's coming over. Jacob Miller from West.
To be fair, Eddie, Richard Horne has been playing exceptionally well. The kick through is put under a lot of pressure, and that will not go. Oh no, it's well done.
It's a brilliant kick. Brilliant kick, isn't it? Don't forget when you play against Warrington, as Ratchford just returns it almost to the 20. No side put the kicker under pressure like the Warrington Wolves. They're in your face. They attempt to chase down almost every kick that's made, and Holdsworth will be under pressure as the game wears on.
Well, the problem for the Warrington side at the moment is that they're trying to offload. They're trying to be a little bit too fancy. And coach Tony Smith will not be happy, because when you get down to the opposition, you want to be able to utilise a kick. They've got Lee Breers out there, Richie Myler. They've got to try to get that consecutive set of 6.
It is very much in their DNA, though, this offloading, and that was a brilliant offload from Wood. The ball though goes to ground, and Hull have got the ball back here with Horne. He gets it wide, and here goes Lynham, and Lynham is quick, and Lynham is in, and Hull get the first try, or do they? Will Richard Silverwood hand this upstairs to video referee Ben Thaler to have a look at how this ball came out?
Have a look at the contribution of Richard Whiting in this play, Steve-O.
Yeah, you're spot on there. Brian, I must say, I just got it out of my mouth in regards to the Warrington trying to keep this ball alive when you've got to settle into the game. That's a flick pass. That is spot on.
I think that's a fair challenge. The question is whether or not there's an unfair push on Ryan Atkins. It's a reaction of Richard Whiting to immediately get the ball into the hands of one of his teammates. So is that a fair challenge for the ball? Yeah, I would tend to say it is.
Yeah, that's fine as far as I'm concerned. That's 2 of us okay, Brian, but you've got to say that they'll go right the way through. There was no problem with getting the ball down. This will be TRY, and Warrington.
I think they're not going to give it. They've not looked at the grounding. I don't think Ben Thaler's going to give this. I think he said that's a push.
Well, that amazes me. It really does. No doubt that Peter Gent will be not happy with that. Tom Lynham will be.
Well, for the Warrington supporters, this is manna from heaven. For the neutrals watching, if they'd have got over for this try, what a match we would have had.
Well, all 3 of us here might believe that should have been a try. It isn't awarded. Now, you can look at it 2 ways if you're a Hull player and supporter. Does this show that we've got the counter-attacking ability to score from anywhere, or do we feel sorry for ourselves here? Could be a potential 12-point shift here in the 60 seconds.
It could, because look where the penalty has ended up, right on the 20-metre line, and Chris Hill will drive it in on the first tackle. 0-0 here after 10 minutes. Big call from Ben Thaler, but he was absolutely convinced, and this is Waterhouse.
Well, he may be convinced he's the man that counts, but There's plenty up on this gantry area that feel it should have been, but this is a good pass, that's a good tackle.
And that's good work from Tom Briscoe. He smothered Ben Westwood then, and with help from Holdsworth, Westwood hits the deck on tackle number 3. This now is Wood. And Paul Wood trying to outmuscle 3 of them. Down he goes.
Don't panic the Wolves, that's the message.
Hyam at dummy half. It's with Breers. Breers then gives it to Myler. Myler then fires the pass wide to Ratchford. That was forward.
Yeah. And that was because he was put under pressure. The black and whites tonight, they are really in for this game. You see, they applied the pressure there to Ratchford, and he had to offload very, very quickly. We mentioned, sorry Phil, we mentioned that they had to get into their faces, and boy, they're getting underneath the skin.
Well, we've three sets now, haven't we, in this opening 11 minutes, when Warrington have been close to Hull's line. Now, you have to do a lot if you want to win here. One thing that you do have to do, though, is your centres and wingers have to defend particularly well, and they've done that so far.
And they've told us a little what they're going to do. Hull FC, I'm talking about now, Warrington Wolves. They want to get the ball to Ryan Atkins, get it wide and get it early, and let him cause trouble out wide. He's a difficult man to stop. And Hull FC on the right-hand side, we talked about Daniel Holdsworth defending on the left, but Hull FC's right edge with Richard Horne there, well, they're going to have to keep a close eye on Atkins.
Houghton at dummy half. The ball was played by Ellis, who finds Horne. And here is Whiting again. Just a little push in the back of Ryan Atkins. And that's why Hull are still 0 on the scoreboard. But their defence in the opening 12 minutes will have delighted their coach. That's a charge down. That's a knock on.
Charge down, knock on. Warrington ball.
Well, there's no player in Super League, Mike Chaz. More kicks down than Richard Myler. It's brave because it's hard when that ball's kicked in your face. Puts his hands up, and here he's helped to gain possession for his side inside Hull's half.
You're right, Phil, but, you know, I go back a little bit before that. You know, there was a Warrington player just hanging around. The man couldn't play the ball correctly. Hull had possession, and yet it allowed the Warrington defenders to get 3 or 4 metres forward. That should have been a penalty.
Well, my initial reaction was that was a knock-on, but thinking about it, it looked as though the ball actually had gone backwards off Tom Lynham. However, it doesn't matter now. 6-all Widnes Huddersfield, just a few miles away from us here. Meanwhile, a penalty to Warrington for messing around at the play the ball.
Well, there's little doubt about that. The officials certainly got that correct.
Hill drives in.
Will we see Warrington for the very first time trying to put in an attacking kick?
Cooper. He goes down under the challenge. But 9 metres away, he plays the ball to Hyam. We'll have a scamper. He will find Breers. Breers then to Myler. Myler wide to Atkins again. A flick pass. It was a speculator. It came off. And Myler did well to hang on to that under pressure. Under pressure from Richard Horne. Ratchford. Wood. Wood takes it in.
Sorry, Eddie, there was nobody there. Wood was looking for support.
Joel Monaghan
Dives on possession. But Warrington have upped the tempo here now from that try. A lot of teams do this. They want to put a scoring burst together, play at a faster rate when you've scored the try. And we haven't seen very many missed tackles from the Hull side. They've obviously only been broken with that kick so far, but it's Warrington attempting to lift the tempo. The stats suggest it should be very close. It is at present.
It is a close game. It's only 6 points in it. We've got 9 minutes now to go exactly to half-time. And Holdsworth with the kick, but Riley shuffles across from his wing and collects it on the full.
Great play by the winger, Chris Riley. Anticipating the kick, got himself in a wonderful position. Such an underrated player, this kid.
And the difference of where you return the ball to, Steve-O. Hull FC have been a little slow in getting to the kicks. Chris Riley, in that instance, showed urgency, and now he's got his team playing the ball well inside the opposition half.
A great ball to Breers. That's a good ball to Myler. I think it was from Carvel. Myler with the kick looking for Joel Monaghan. He's trying to roll his way out of the line. Joel Monaghan gets the second Warrington try. A big smile on the face of coach Tony Smith. That was inventive. It was a wonderful run from Carvel. A brilliant pass.
Yep.
Neat interchanging. Great kick to the corner. And this fella is as good as anything in the air. And he rolled his way over the try line in the end.
Upper body strength and put it down to this little offload there from Carvel. Absolutely outstanding. Breers knew exactly, got the offload there. How many times has this guy done it? Joel Monaghan. If you don't get to him first, you've got to make sure that there's going to be some power in your defence. Had the chance, couldn't recover quick enough. But Joel Monaghan certainly did. Myler with a chip over the top. Absolutely wonderfully taken. Should have been stopped. He knows it.
I'll tell you, Eddie, when it's played like that, it is Super League. I think that's why Tony Smith was so enthusiastic. There was so much good about that. I want you to have a look as well as the Hull FC defender that was beaten in the line. It's probably their best defender, Gareth Ellis. Well-worked try, beautifully finished off by Joe Monaghan.
Can Lee Breers add the cream? No, it just goes the wrong side of the post. But Warrington leading by 10 points to 0.
And it wouldn't surprise me, Eddie, on the back of this try, where the Warrington have regrouped and want to go again. They've kept the ball alive. Myler, one of the best players at being in the right place at the right time. The accuracy of his kick. And Monaghan, well, he loves to score from that sort of situation. And it would not surprise me, Eddie, if the thought going through the Warrington minds is how can we score in these next 6 plays. A lot of the best teams in Super League are doing this now. Back-to-back tries to kill off the hopes and aspirations of their opponents.
Then Riley running the ball back, 20 years of age, off the bench for the 5th game in a row. Look, England Exiles will be here on this ground 14th of June, Friday night, live on Sky Sports. We all know, of course, that Kevin Sinfield will be playing because he's the England captain, who'll be alongside him at scrum half. Richie Myler is putting down a massive marker here.
He certainly is, and he's in good form as well. He's regained the confidence. And the combination there between Breers and Myler was outstanding, but I just shook my head when, you know, when Gareth Carvel offloaded that ball. I think that's the reason why Tony Smith was so pleased. It was a perfect offload.
It was a great offload, and of course we'll see all the contenders for England and the Exiles next weekend at the Magic Weekend. You saw the graphic on your screen with the phone numbers and the websites. Now then,
how's that for a wonderful kick?
Great kick, and he just managed to pick it up in time as well. Nice little run from McDonald. He was trying to play that ball quickly.
Well, they need a counter-punch now, don't they, the black and whites? They realise it.
Josh Bowden here plays it to Jeremiah. Horn trying to get them going, but Myler round his ankles. Jeremiah scampering in to Dunley half.
And he could be a great player, Eddie. Ben Crooks, he hasn't had a lot of the ball at the moment. Right centre against Ryan Atkins, and defensively he'll be tested. But boy, he's been in great form recently.
Yes, and the contender for Young Player of the Year, his dad Lee was Young Player of the Year in 1985.
Geez, that's a nameless kick. You're 10-0 down. You got a chance to put some sort of attacking kick in. You kick to the best fielder on the field, the best catcher on the field, Joel Monaghan, and you got no chasers around him. They're going to have to sharpen their game up. That's not going to be good enough.
And this isn't good enough because this is a knock-on.
Brian, I've often said that it amazes me that when teams come and play against Warrington, Joel Monaghan is such a tall person. Chris Riley is so small, and they don't kick to it.
Well, sometimes you might have to kick in the direction of Joel Monaghan, but if you're going to do that, put it up high and put a chase on it. Benny Westwood, well, he'll be looking to keep him out on the field. And a player, they need to get the ball in this man's hands. He'll be playing, Eddie, for against the Exiles. There's no doubt about that. He's been in good form for the last few years, really, for England and for Warrington.
You're on the selection committee, eh, Brian?
Well, just give him
for
my
the
opinion.
Exiles, Phil, for the Exiles.
Sorry, I thought he was talking about Benny Westwood.
Here's a chance for Crooks. Dumps the ball back to McDonald. Well, what would Hull give for a try right before the half-time siren? Horn. Oh, it found its way to Lynham on the bounce, and Lynham gets the ball inside to Whiting. Whiting has lost the ball.
Well, it looked to me as though it actually gone down for the tackle and then offloaded it when it was down there. He should have really turned. Oh, they've got a chance.
It's a turnover. It's a free play. It's a kick into Tom Briscoe, who will score. And he gives the try without reference upstairs to Ben Thaler. Must have got a call from either side about onside, offside, but just what the doctor ordered for Hull, and Briscoe over for the try. His 80th try for Hull, the 90th try of his career, and what a strange one it was.
Well, Mike Cooper lost control of it. Jeremiah said, let's get the kick away. Richard Silverwood was quite happy. The fact that they were onside, it got a beautiful bounce, and Briscoe said, we're back in this game. Had a try disallowed early in this first half. Was it briefed out? Yes, it was.
Well, that's lost in the tackle, isn't it, Mike?
Well, I don't know. It's certainly put the punch in. Either way, it's up there on the scoreboard. It's game on yet again. But what quick thinking there from Aaron Jeremiah.
And what quick feet from Tom Briscoe. Holdsworth adds the extras, and we really do have a match on our hands. It's 10-6 to Warrington.
A great play from Hull FC, and well able to capitalise on that free play. Aaron Jeremiah, it had to be a good kick, and Tom Briscoe, he's made the effort to get in the middle of the field, Eddie, not hanging out on the left wing where he started the game, and he's chased up that kick and got aside 6 points.
Are we all convinced that Briscoe was onside from that kick? The referee and touch judges were.
Yep. Well, he didn't get a nod. I saw that Silverwood looked towards the touch judge on this near side. He said that was A-OK, and that's all he needs.
Well, 2 minutes to half-time, and 10-6 Warrington.
That's great for Hull FC. This is exactly what they needed. Phil mentioned Warrington going for another try, and you could see it's 16-0 at half-time and possibly looking to stretch it further. Well, 10-6, if they can play out this next 2 minutes. And I'm not for negative play, but I think they need to go in just 4 points behind it. Steve-O, that will give them a great lift.
Yeah, it's up the jumper time. They really don't want to be trying anything too adventurous with them in their own danger zone, and that's good defence.
It was good defence, and it was a little bit adventurous, trying to get the ball away to Yeeman. An invitation for an interception there was there.
He knows how to slow it down. Gareth Ellis, he's got all the experience, realises it's important. Get in a good position, then maybe get the kick away.
I tell you what, there's something on here. Away goes Crooks. He's got Lyman with him. Oh! Went straight to Atkins.
It didn't look, I don't think.
He also had a man steaming up on his inside as well.
Well, that was a golden opportunity there.
I think that was a shoulder charge as well by Gareth Ellis off the ball that's not been seen.
Crowd saw it. We did.
This is Westwood.
Well, a golden opportunity that they could have actually taken the lead.
They could have done. Here's Glenn Riley. Michael Monaghan. Mike Cooper. Down he goes on the last 30 seconds from the half-time siren. Breers is here. Breers will hoist it out wide. Whoa, don't let it bounce. Grix, and it's hacked forward by Breers, and the danger gone. But there were danger signs there for Hull. They let that ball bounce.
Yeah, they was more interested in just putting their body to try to stop the Warrington players getting anywhere near it, and rather than
I think it was the presence of Joel Monaghan, wasn't it?
Yeah. But not one of them made any attempt to try to catch that ball. I must say, Shannon McDonald not having a top game.
Well, 3 seconds. The referee's called time off. So, what is it here? Just take the tackle and get in.
Still time off. Come on. Here we go.
3 seconds remaining as Holdsworth feeds this scrum. Time comes back on. And there's the half-time siren, and Kirk Eamon takes the last tackle from Gareth Carvell. Well, he was on his feet. Tony Smith applauding with these fans for one of the Warrington tries, the one scored by Joel Monaghan on the half hour.